So fantastic, man. Good morning, Daily Huddle. Good morning, gentlemen.
Welcome back.
It is great to be back in the saddle, but crazy times yesterday because in the air, the pilot of Southwest gets, we get on, we sit down, and he says, "My apologies, the internet's not working." I was like, I really wanted to see if I could get the Huddle. Generally, you can't stream up in the air. It shuts down. It's hard, whatever. Anyway, I said, I'm going to try it anyway. I go on as soon as we hit the air. I go, I pay my $8. It goes on. Shay, show me Steve watching the Huddle all night. It was what a buzz. You guys did an amazing job. Really, it was fun watching you. It was sort of one of those, like I felt like saying on the plane, "These are my boys." really fantastic. But I'm going to show you customer service at its best. So I watched the Huddle. Near the end, it was, got a little fuzzy and it kind of checked out. But I was able to use the internet most of the flight. I didn't complain. I didn't say anything. Show me what Southwest does. Bang. Our system shows that you may have had poor connectivity on board. Full refund.
That's awesome. You didn't even ask for that, which is like amazing.
And it would have been, it just shows you, it would have been okay. Why? Because we have been trained to know that okay is okay.
Right, to accept that things don't get done the way they should be, and you were just going to eat that $8 and say, it was what it was. I got a little internet, and now I don't have it. But they made it right, which is awesome.
They made it right.
We've been trained that airplane Wi-Fi is not the greatest.
Right.
Correct. So I'm not a complainer by nature. I was grateful for what I had, not what I didn't have. Oh, rock star, what a thought. There you go, AT. They rock, man. They did a great job. You know what? They get people on and off. It's not as bougie as I like. I'm a snobber.
It's not Delta. It's not Delta first class.
Right. It is the get them online. But you know what? They do it fast. They do it clean. The flight attendant could not have been funnier. She was fantastic, entertaining. She made it as if the pilot, yet the day before, was his first flight, and he did good enough to come back. And so it was just funny stuff. Gary, you get it in whatever business you're in. It's service. So let me switch gears to the content that you guys provided yesterday. I want to make this very clear to people. We're very excited that we had a 1-year anniversary for GOTB. Fantastic. And, we're always positive and telling you how great it is and whatever. I want everybody to realize that it's not always sunshine and rainbows. We have been in dialogue with our partner, Joe Mullings, because it didn't meet our expectations. We may not have had the skill sets. We may not have done it the way we wanted, so we had very grandiose ideas of what would happen in a year. It didn't. I came up with another idea, a different way to execute it. I presented it. We all let it marinate, which is a good idea for all of you guys. And then yesterday we met with Joe and we figured it out. And he said something that was groundbreaking. And I'm bringing it here because I want you to know it's never the first idea. Mark, what did he say?
Yeah, so the first idea is always the dumbest idea. And I want to be clear that we are proud of the product that we put together, but the execution of the business did not move the way we thought it was going to, which I think is really important. Sometimes you have an idea for a product and the product actually sucks, right? What's there is not actually valuable, and you need to really move and changed what you're doing in order to be successful. It wasn't about the product being bad. We actually, the inverse, we were like, this is way more valuable than what's actually happening with the business. So we have to find a better way to communicate its value and to get people to understand what it is and how to use it. And, you know, you came up with a great idea on what the new business model should look like. And then it just becomes about having complete transparency and candidness in communicating what your individual goals are, what you feel you're entitled to, how you're willing to negotiate what you feel entitled to in order to make the good of the team work and move forward with the business. And that's the great part about being in business with the right people, is those conversations are not hard. Even though they would call them hard conversations, they're not, because everybody's willing to be candid and talk transparently and get on the same page.
It's so incredibly well said, you know, but I was even pleasantly surprised at the process of how we got to where we were. It is absolute candor, just, you know, throwing it out there, a radical candor, as I talk about in my presentations.
Great book, by the way, Radical Candor, great book.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. Speaking of, today we'll be talking, it is National Reading Awareness Day, but let's get to some wake-up music. Let's kick this thing in the ass. It's Wisdom Wednesday. Let's go.
Wake up, everybody! Get up! Get up! Get up! Get up! Wake up! Come on! Come on! Wake up, everybody! Teach a new way. Maybe then they'll listen what you have to say. Wake up, everybody! No more sleeping in there. No more back to thinking, time for thinking ahead. Come on now.
So before we move on, I want to bring up our buddy Les, who was the first Get on the Ball client. We will never forget him, because you never forget your first. But the keyword promote, in this case, is not the avenue that we're going to take. We felt like we could dip our toe in this big ocean and just promote it, and it would happen. It's not the case. There's a little bit of old-fashioned elbow grease that we're going to get into. But as I said, today is March 2nd. It is National Read Across America Day, which is an initiative on reading created by the National Education Association. And it basically motivates and creates awareness for everybody, specifically children, to read. It is fascinating that the last book that people read generally is when they graduate high school.
That's insanity. Obviously not something that we subscribe to.
The information that's available. So this day has also become known as Dr. Seuss Day. What comes to mind when we think about Dr. Seuss?
Well, this day in general has a lot of meaning for me, just because when I was a college football coach, we spent a lot of time as a team going into schools, leveraging the awareness of our players and, you know, their persona in the community to go in and read Dr. Seuss books to kids in elementary schools, which was a good time. It was cool to be involved in the community that way. When I think of Dr. Seuss, I personally think of The Cat in the Hat, or I think of The Grinch, and then I immediately think of what's his name, who played The Grinch?
Oh, yeah, absolutely, Jim Carrey.
Jim Carrey, immediately.
Fantastic.
Awesome role.
Fantastic. So Dr. Seuss's real name, do you know that?
I don't. I mean, I do, but I can't pull that right now.
Theodore Geisel is his real name. Author and is illustrator. So he did his own illustration. He graduated from Dartmouth. So this was a really bright dude. The first children's book that Geisel wrote and illustrated, And to Think I Saw It All on Mulberry Street, was rejected by over 24 publishers before making it to print in 1937. Woo! Learning, coaching moments. 24 times he heard no.
So I got to give a shout out to Christian Castellano, though, with the Dr. Seuss line. Cat in the Hat went to the Daily Huddle to learn how to improve his swing when at bat. I love that. Well done on the spot.
You know what? It's so cool that he said that, because Dr. Seuss, over the course of years, for me, came up with these little, rhymes or limericks or whatever they call them that you kind of stay with. And so some of his most recited lines and top quotes were struck how clearly they take you through your whole life. So here's one. Be who you are and say what you feel, because those who mind don't matter, and those who matter don't mind.
Yeah, it's perfect. He's
right.
I mean, the one that sticks out to me that I don't think is on that list comes from Green Eggs and Ham. And when he talks about all of the ways he does not eat green eggs and ham, that to me embodies the power of saying no and understanding that it's not circumstantial. This is not something that I do, and it's not something that I'll ever do.
So it couldn't be more appropriate today. The more you read, the more things you know, the more you learn, the more places you'll go.
You will go.
So it's unbelievable. One of my new coaching clients, David Aaron, CEO of C&R Architects in Cincinnati, he was on vacation. He brought my book, and then while he was doing it, he took a picture of it, shared it. I reshared that. Normally reshares on LinkedIn don't get any traction, but look at the places my book has gone. I have all of those pictures of people, so to me, it's incredible.
It's really funny to me that it's your face. So like your face just ends up all over the world, in people's bedrooms, in people's offices. Like it's hilarious to me to think that my father's face is everywhere.
When my book first came out, which by the way, in case the Huddle did not know, I wrote a book, Reading Awareness. Please read my book. When I did it, friends and were supporting me. They bought it and they said, dude, we got a problem. My wife is reading your book. I get into bed, you're staring right at me. That's crazy. Okay, a couple of others. You have brains in your head. You have feet in your shoes. You can steer yourself any direction you choose.
Yes, sir.
Self-responsibility. So the writer who breathes more words than he needs is making a chore for the reader who reads.
Keep it simple. Keep it simple.
So if things start happening, don't worry, don't stew. Just go right along and you'll start happening too. So really great stuff from Dr. Seuss. I have huge memories, indelible. And then they got reignited by Jim Carrey doing it in a movie, which was an amazing event. You can still watch that. There's tons of stuff. There's rides at Disney World, which I guess you will be part of that as well, right?
We went last year. We did, the Magic Kingdom and all that, but I'm not going back anytime soon. I got to tell you.
Shout out to my man, Oscar Sardinas. Oscars with DB and Tile. Thank you for showing up, man. It's always good to have new blood here. If you're reading something, let us know. I'm going to share our reading list. Shay, could you show me the books that we're reading? So if you haven't read Atomic Habits, just stop coming. Okay.
Yeah, we've only talked about it the entire year. Like,
right.
At this point, we're 60 days. I'm currently reading Getting to Neutral, which is Trevor Moawad's book, which is a great book. We were listening to Working Backwards. Extreme ownership is something that we talk about all the time. Think Again is a book that's on deck for me from Getting to Neutral. The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck was the book that I read right before I left coaching football. And then The Saint, the Surfer, and the CEO from Robin Sharma was a book you gave me when I first started my coaching career at Florida State full time, which was a transformational moment for my mind because it really expanded my thought beyond being just what I wanted to be professionally.
Books have such an impact. there was a time way back in my career that I read Malcolm Gladwell's first book, which was The Tipping Point. Craziness in my head that I read it. And as I'm reading it, I'm going, this guy is a genius. The law of a few people who could go out and make shit happen. He validated that I could build a career based on my Rolodex. How far ago that is. You know, that was pre-social media. And then he has since gone on. So I have that book. It's printed as a gift, compliments of On the Ball. I give it out to people, you know, aggressively. So books live forever. They don't get thrown out. They, to your point yesterday, and you said this, which is so powerful, whatever you have that's content, you go back and look at it again, and it's fresh and it's new and it's incredible.
So you have to have a playbook. Like, to me, I relate it back to sports and to coaching. What's in your playbook? Plays we ran. It was the philosophy that was at the core of our department or our segment of the team. It was our core beliefs. It was our daily practices. It was this information that wasn't just about the plays. And so, to me, your library is part of your playbook, right? And all of the content that you own is part of your playbook that keeps you focused on the fundamentals. You talk about the morning routine. You read because it gets you back to the basics. It gets you back to doing the fundamentals, focuses you on where you need to be, which is really important. So I think we buy books so that we can go back to them and highlight and know what our notes were. I think all of our content should be that way.
Tremendous. People are putting up other books that are reminders to me, but I can tell you this. You want to do something really good for somebody, buy them a book. Go on Amazon, bang, bang, spend the $15. When you give somebody a book, great things happen. Jeff Bishop talks about green lights. I love Matthew McConaughey. I got to get into that book. Thank you for
I think that's one I got to listen to, though. I don't think I want to read that one. I think I want to hear it.
All right.
You know,
awesome stuff. AT, I will send you that list. Anybody wants our list, we will email that to you, no problem. But let's get on to motivational music. Today is John Bon Jovi's birthday. Wouldn't you know that John Bon Jovi came out with a quote on his birthday about the 3 Ps, man. Give me Shay. Show me the 3 Ps. Shay, you still with us? There you go. So we'll never be perfect, but remember the 3 Ps: passion, persistence equals possibility. Man, fantastic. Show me some wake up, some motivational music.
This one goes out to the man who minds for miracles. This one goes out to the ones in need. This one goes out to the sinner and the cynical. This ain't about no apology. This road was paid by the hopeless and the hungry. This road was paid by the winds of change. Walking beside the guilty and the innocent. How will you raise your hand when they call your name? Yeah, yeah, yeah. We weren't born to follow. Come on and get up off your knees. When life is a pill to swallow, you gotta hold on to what you believe. Believe that the sun will shine tomorrow, and that your saints and sinners bleed. We weren't born to follow. You gotta stand up for what you believe. Let me hear you say yeah, 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 oh yeah.
Bang.
All day long. You got chills up and down. So all of these amazing authors put out content on a regular basis. You put out content on a regular basis. I put out content that's not just personal. I'm giving people shit I learned. I am sharing it. I'm not following anybody. I am sharing what I know. You want to digest it, great. You don't want to digest it, that's fine. But I am a fan of doing something before I tell someone else to do it. Like,
Right.
I think that's a big part of it. So everything I coach, I do, and I listen and watch these people and read these people all the time. One of them is Seth Godin. If you are not following this dude, right? And this is a case where you could follow. He's amazing. Every single day, he gives me a shot of something that makes my brain think. So I know we're running late, but how about this one? He sends out a thing that says, invent a new holiday. It doesn't have to be, it doesn't have to last all day. It could be for an hour or a month. How would you celebrate it? Who else needs to be part of it? Festivus for the rest of us.
Well, I think that's great commentary into what we had talked about earlier in the week of gratitude, of celebration, of compliments. Like, you have the ability to create whatever the holiday is that's worth celebrating, and making a holiday for your people or for the people you're working with or for your family or whoever. It changes the perspective, changes the way they feel, and it offers you the opportunity to move the culture in the right direction.
Love it. So this one really
quick holiday that used to get created in football that was such a monumentous moment, but we'd be in the middle of August, right? And August in football season is the grind of grinds. You're practicing every day. You're in the heat. You're doing two-a-days. You're watching film all day. You're practicing. You're showering. You're going back to it. It is 16 hours a day for 30 straight days nonstop. We would create a holiday somewhere in there. We would come in and we would just change it where we were going to go bowling for the day. We were going to go down the water at the water park, down the slides. We created a holiday to celebrate for the team. And the way it refreshed people, the way it made them feel appreciated, the way it changed the way people came back to work after that, unbelievable opportunity to create a holiday.
So it goes back to mindset. Put in a seed of an idea. Seth is saying, just invent your own holiday when it's holiday. And I saw this happen a Monday ago. It was like, I don't know, it was President's Day or Columbus Day. It's like the day didn't change. Sunday, Monday, the day doesn't change. Your mindset changes. How you feel about that day, that upcoming hours ahead of you. So there's a whole bunch that I put together, but I want to do this one. A little more or a little less was what he said. And he goes, the producer of a successful product has a choice to make. If you put a little less in the box, people will run out sooner and have to buy more. If you give people a little bit more for their money, they'll purchase less often, but become more loyal. It turns out that in most markets where there are easy substitutions, the long-term value of loyalty is far greater than the short-term gain of profit.
Well, play the long game should always be the rule of thumb. If
So
you're
if
playing the
somebody
short
asks
game,
you something,
yeah.
if somebody asks you something, give it to them. Don't keep it for yourself. Share it. Share it with the universe. Share it with the world, because it comes back. Give a little bit more, not a little bit less.
So if you have an author that you like, I would almost guarantee you at this point in their career, they have a newsletter. If you're not subscribed to their newsletter and getting some daily content from them or weekly content from them, you're missing out on an opportunity to hear from somebody that you like, that leads you in the right direction in order to keep you focused on the fundamentals and your mind working in the right direction.
So Jake and you do a great job with get on the ball. That newsletter is chock full. I love it. Yep. I'm part of the company, but I love what you're putting out there. So that's that mind drip.
Weekly.
And then here's the other thing. I read people I don't like or I don't agree with. Yeah. Tim Benning is a great author. He puts out a lot of content. I disagree. With 70% of what that dude puts out there.
Most of his newsletters
to get to the 30%. So we're way over time. We got a busy day ahead. Go out and read a book, give a book, write a book. Hey, did you write a book?
I did. Hasn't come out yet, but I did. Let's go. Have a great day.
Please don't worry about me.
I'm about to let my heart speak. My friends keep telling me to leave this. So let's get down to business. Let's get down to business. Give you one more night to get this. We've